Hello and welcome back to Wario Winter, an advent calendar where I'm walking through every single Wario game. Today, we're looking at the more unique, which is really saying something, entry in the WarioWare series, WarioWare D.I.Y. Let's get started. I was aware that this game existed, but I can't begin to express to you how much the game blew my expectations out of the water. Like, when you hear software that lets you make your own game, I would expect it to have no more than a handful of pre-made options and maybe a couple features to add. But what's really funny is that it's so far from the truth here. There's a full art studio with a pretty good amount of options to just about make whatever you can think of. The ability to animate those art pieces with basic cell understanding. This is just the beginning though, because the game also features a fully functional music studio with a full library of instruments and other noises to choose from, which you can put on the 5 tracks and a percussion line. When you've made your art and music, the game also has an extremely basic coding process, which obviously it's not going to be a full coding language, but there are so many different options and abilities within this system that to me there are practically endless things you could do in this studio. I just really wasn't expecting this from what would be considered a kid's game. They tend to be a little simpler for obvious reasons, but honestly, if you had the time and the patience, you could spend forever in this game just making things. That isn't even to mention that you then get to design the packaging and write the description. It's just so much fun and super in-depth. This game isn't only a game making software though, because on top of the already deep making system, they also gave us a standard WarioWare campaign that is just as complex and fun as the other entries. Not to mention, all of the games were made from assets of their own system, so you can see how it works and even remix it. It's just such a cool idea. If that somehow wasn't enough content for you, there's also comics you can make and read that you can unlock as you play. It's just insane how much they packed into this game. You could get by with just having this game on your DS for so long and not get bored. If there was one thing I would say in detriment, the beginning tutorial is very long-winded. I know why it is that way because there is so much to this, but it's required to complete at least the first course before it lets you make your own game. If I were the target age for this, I would have gotten so bored and possibly even frustrated at just how long this tutorial took. If I was to change this, I'd say they should have let kids just go straight in and mess around, because all of the buttons and actions are fairly well labeled as it is. But if the kid was confused or wanted to learn more, the game should remind them that there are tutorials. Locking the main bit of the game behind an incredibly long tutorial where you do basically nothing the whole time, I personally think was a bad idea, but you may disagree. There was definitely an incredibly fun and fulfilling entry into the WarioWare franchise. I think I'll be sinking quite a bit more time into this game and experimenting. I'm so unbelievably impressed, and I love that I finally got to know that this game is more complex than I assumed it was. Did you make anything cool in DIY? Do you still make things in DIY? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.